LEGO Viking was a really fun and creative theme from all the way back in 2005. It was pretty much a spin-off of Castle but with a creative twist. Instead of having different Viking forces fighting one another, we actually saw the Vikings taking on different Nordic mythology beasts and creatures like wyverns, dragons, even the World Serpent and Fenrir. So it made for some really cool sets. We also got tons of new amazing molds like Viking helmets and axes. And unlike pretty much all the themes we cover on this channel, we actually got 2 years worth of sets for this and got 7 sets in total from 2005 to 2007. So let's take a look back at LEGO Vikings. I'll go for the smaller set from 2005. We have Viking Warrior challenges a Fenris Wolf. And one thing I love about this theme is how literal the names are. So this set was only £4 and contains 76 pieces. We get a really great Viking Warrior, and I love the original Viking helmet mold. And then the main part of the build is Fenrir, who in mythology is Loki's son and is absolutely massive, so a lot smaller here. And I actually believe during Ragnarok, Fenrir's sons, Hoti and Skull, end up destroying the sun and the moon, and then it ends with Fenrir himself eating Odin. So quite the family tree, with some really awesome stuff in mythology. Let's get back to the set. And for the build, and pretty much the build for all the different creatures, they actually use the Bionicle and Technic style, which is really cool to see. So overall, for a cheap set, it's really good. You get an amazing Viking minifigure, as well as a really cool brick-built Fenrir, although it would have been amazing to get a massive one. Our next set is the Viking boat against the Wyvern Dragon, which was only £6. For the build, we get a really great but simple Viking longship, and I wasn't actually sure if this could be classified as one. But on the wiki, this is described as being the smallest LEGO ship with a mast, so that's kind of cool. I love the shields on the side as well as the figurehead. And the Wyvern Dragon, although simple and small, I actually think it's a really nice build. Then we get 2 Viking warriors, both of which look amazing. And I also read on the wiki this is the only LEGO set to include a Wyvern, so that's also pretty cool. So overall, another great set for an amazing price. Our next set is Viking Catapult versus Nidhogg Dragon, another great and literal name. This contains 225 pieces and was only £12.99. This gives us our first dragon build from the theme, and they're definitely my favourite of the creature builds. I think the Bionicle and Technic style of building really suits them. I love the face and the claws as well as the flaming wings. And the Viking Catapult, albeit simple, looks really great, and it has some flick fire missiles. And then we only get 1 Viking warrior and then some treasure. So another great set with 2 really good builds. I especially love the dragon. Then our next set is my personal favourite from the entire theme. We have Viking Ship challenges the Midgard Serpent. This set contains 578 pieces and was only $34.99. For the builds, we get a really amazing Viking longship. I absolutely love the build here. The dragon head out the front, all the shields as well as the sail looks amazing. We also get a cage as well as a ballista or another catapult, where we can fire some flick fire missiles at the World Serpent. And there's also a place at the back for the Viking King. So I think the World Serpent here looks really great. I think just like the Dragons and Technic pieces really suit it. Reminds you a lot of the Basilisk from Harry Potter. In mythology, I believe this is described as being able to encircle the entire Earth. So it's unfathomably huge and obviously couldn't be made into a LEGO set. For such limited pieces, you get an amazing ship build, as well as a really good sized World Serpent. And then the minifigures are incredible. We get 6 of them, a bunch of different Viking warriors, all of which look amazing, as well as a Viking King with his golden helmet. So a really impressive set with lots of great minifigures for a really good price. Now something really cool about this set is it did kind of actually get remade in 2022. And we got the Viking ship and the Midgard Serpent, which was a 3-in-1 creator set. As we can see here, we get the Viking longboat and a bunch of Viking warriors, as well as the World Serpent, which I think I actually prefer the World Serpent's design here, but the original Viking longship is definitely better in my opinion. And with this being a 3-in-1 creator set, you could also do some alternate builds. We got a Viking house, which looks really great, as well as you could also make Fenrir, who's a much bigger version, although the tail looks really weird. So it's really cool to see this set get remade, and I think all 3 builds look really great. But I'd love to see a proper remake of this ship without being limited by the 3-in-1 style. It would also be amazing to get a ginormous World Serpent as well as Fenrir. There could be some really cool individual sets. Alright, we're now moving on to the biggest set from the entire theme, and the last one from 2005. We have the Viking Fortress against the Fenrir Dragon. This set contains a massive 1019 pieces, but only retail for $49.99 or $70. Man, I miss these prices. So just like the very literal name suggests, we get a Viking Fortress, which looks really cool. I love the big gate build at the front, as well as has a bunch of different catapults, including this massive one in the center where we can fire rocks at the dragon. There's also a small cage inside to trap a smaller dragon, and although the build is great, there's a little bit more inside of it, like some guard barracks, maybe a few houses, place for the king. But for the price and pieces, it looks amazing. Then the dragon itself is probably my favorite from the wave. I love the green and red color scheme used for it. It's pretty much the same build as the last dragon, but they both really suit the Technic Bionicle style. Then we get 6 minifigures, with 5 of them actually being exclusive to this set. We get a bunch of different warriors, as well as the Viking King. So that was it for 2005. 5 really great sets, which were really amazing prices. Tons and tons of amazing minifigures. I love the Viking helmet molds. I thought the dragon and the World Serpent looked really great, although the Wyvern and Fenrir was a little bit disappointing just the size of them. But for the price, I can't be too mad at them. Then finally in 2006, we got 2 more sets. Our first set is Army of Vikings with Heavy Artillery Wagon. Another great name. This one contained 312 pieces and retail for $17.99. And it's actually the only set not to include one of the mythology creatures. We just get a really cool wagon wheel with a bunch of flick fire missiles, as well as a breaching ram, and then 7 amazing minifigures, all of which are actually exclusive to this set, and we get an updated King minifigure. Then our final set ever was Viking double catapult versus the armored Fenrir dragon. And again, you can't get any more literal than that, as we do get a double catapult, where we can fire 2 massive rocks at the dragon. Speaking of, the dragon is a really great design. This one feels the most Bionicle-like with all the different armor pieces. I especially love the face piece. And then we get 3 more Viking warriors, all of which are exclusive. So it's really cool how many variations of the Viking warriors we actually get in these sets, and they all look incredible. And unfortunately though, this is where the theme ends. We got 7 really great sets, with tons of amazing minifigures, lots of fun Viking-inspired builds, and lots of great creatures from Nordic mythology. It's a real shame we didn't get a few more waves, because we could have got some really cool different Nordic creatures, like different trolls, the Norns, Draugr, and it also been really cool they included some of the different gods like Odin, Thor, Balder, and Loki. And one last amazing thing from this theme was the Viking chess set, which gave us 24 unique minifigures of all the different Viking warriors as well as the Viking kings in a blue or red color scheme. So this was an incredibly cool set. I always love the old chess sets, and it was only £30, so it would also be the perfect army builder. But since 2006, we haven't actually seen a lot of Viking representation in LEGO. We got a few in the collectible minifigure series. In Series 4, we got the Viking. In Series 7, we got the Viking woman. And then in Series 20, we once again got another Viking. Probably one of my favorite all-time collectible minifigures. And like I mentioned a few years ago, we got the Viking ship and Midgard Serpent. And we did also see the Fenrir pop up in a Ragnarok set, which is honestly a pretty fun set, and it's a nice design, although once again quite small. Then finally, only 2 years ago, we did get the Viking Village set, which was a LEGO Ideas set, which has over 2,000 pieces, and it looks incredible. So I'm really hoping we get some more Viking representation in LEGO, as the sets we do have look amazing. There's so many great builds from the original theme to some of the newer sets. For me, my absolute dream set would be a new Longship, especially with proper cloth sails and a much bigger build. But that will do for LEGO Vikings. Let me know what you thought of this theme. Did you used to collect it? And what would be your dream set based on the Vikings? As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.